Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, today we're going to take another look at another Witch Hollow review. This is from the year 2014. I'm missing the 2013 piece in my collection, and so if you have the Three Witch Cauldron, I think it's called Witch Haunt, let me know and I'll take that piece off of your hand so I can do a review on it. And then also complete my collection. So we're going to skip the 2013 because I don't have it. We're going to jump into the 2014, which is an incredibly cool piece. And let's take a closer look at that right now. Okay, like all reviews, we're going to start with a picture of the box. And this is the Witch Hollow piece from 2014. It's called Toads and Frogs Witchcraft Haunt. It is a cool looking witch hat. It's like a little, almost a little, sphere with some strapping on it as the house itself. And then a really cool witch hat on top with a frog sitting right on the top. So this piece is really well done. It's really detailed, and you can kind of see it here as we start to take a closer look. And then we're going to take a really close look at the accessory that accompanies this piece called Another Prince Croaks. And we'll explain more about that here in a moment and take a really close look at her. But let's zoom in on this house. Let's first take a look at the front door, and just the paint job around this entire piece is really well done. I've put an orange LED light in this one, and it just really accents the piece, at least in my opinion it does. You've got a frog sitting on the side, and this comes out. This little piece comes out and just kind of sits in there. This little cage here also comes off and kind of hangs underneath. But the paint on this around the base and around the little house itself is just really well done. You can see the little rivets painted on there. You can see more frogs kind of poking out in different directions underneath the house. Just a really well done piece. And then as you climb up the top, you've got a window there that sort of resembles the buckle on the ribbon of that hat. And look at the paint job, just really, let me try to focus in a little bit better, just a really well done. It's got a lot of glare on it, but you can see the different colors and the textures. Looks like almost a blue, kind of a midnight looking dry brush there. You can see another frog back here. And then we go up to the top of the hat with the frog sitting at the top, which is a pretty cool little accent there. And then as we come down on this side, you guessed it, another frog around the side of the house on the hat. Now let me move Another Prince Croaks out of the way. Now look how cool this is, right? There's a frog coming out of this, and it says ex-boyfriend. So obviously this witch has had pretty bad luck in her dating life, it looks like. And so she's turning all of her ex-boyfriends into frogs, which is pretty indicative, I guess, of all the frogs around this little witch house. Now, as we go to the back, and I'll move one of these trees out of the way. As we go to the back of this house, as a matter of fact, let me just walk around to the back. It's probably easier that way. My camera has a hard time focusing anymore, and I'm not sure why. But let's try to focus in on this. Look at the clothes of all the boyfriends that are kind of stashed up around the back of this house. You got shoes and hats and shirts and socks and just all sorts of stuff scattered around the back of the house, which is pretty cool. And then you've got this creepy looking tree that kind of comes up. Now, this is not folded out or spread apart in any way. It's just kind of sitting there. But it does look pretty cool. And you can see the detail and the quality of the paint job that's just all around this piece. It's just really well done. Okay, let's go back to the front here and take another look here. Just a remarkable paint job all the way around. This is a really good piece. Now these are somewhat, this piece would have set you back in 2014, $125. So they started to get a little more expensive right about that time. And you can still find these. These are somewhat plentiful online still on second markets, and sometimes you can find these on Amazon or other places for a pretty reasonable amount, and so not too awfully hard to get. What is a little more difficult to get and a little more expensive is the accessory that accompanies this piece, and that is another Prince Croaks. Now, if you were to have bought this, I'm going to pull this down so we can see it better. If you were to have bought this in 2014, this piece would have set you back $26.50, even a little expensive for an accessory, but I'm doing this for a reason here. So look at the detail on this piece. This is a resin piece. The house is ceramic or porcelain, and this piece is resin, and I love the resin pieces. Look at the detail of the leaves, of the frogs, of the shoes, and the crown, all happening down on the ground, which is really, really cool. Now, Department 56 was making witches, and I'm going to have a difficulty with this because it's so hard to focus this camera for some strange reason, but look at the eyes on this witch. I told you Hilda was scary, and she is absolutely scary, probably the most scary of the witches. But this witch here, she doesn't have a name other than another Prince Croaks, is incredibly scary. I'm going to try to prop her up so I can focus a little bit more on her face. Look at her eyes and her mouth and just the way she is looking. She is not a happy camper at all, but she is so incredibly, I'm just going to leave her like that, I think, so incredibly detailed. Her belt buckle, her dress, the hair, and it's incredibly hard to focus, I do apologize. Her hair is not a different material. It's all molded in as part of the resin piece, but it's painted almost a white. Look at the detail on her hands, if I can get that to focus. Which it doesn't look like it wants to cooperate. It does a little bit, but let me see if I can zoom in. Maybe that'll be better. The detail on her hands, I mean, her fingernails are all painted. Her hands are incredibly, green. She's just a really well done piece. And then she's kind of holding that wand down there and turning another boyfriend into a frog, at least it appears. This guy here is like, screw it, I've got to get out of here while I can. So he's trying to hop away and get out of there. And just the look, it's just so hard to focus. I don't know what's going on with my phone, guys. I do apologize, but the look on this frog's face as well, just his eyes are all bugged out, and he's like, I've got to get out of here while I can. But just a very, very, very well done piece. They knocked it out of the park with this witch. She is absolutely one of my favorites, and you don't want to miss having her in your collection if you can at all find her. She is a little more expensive. You can find her, but she's going to set you back a little more than probably $26.50, which is what she retailed for when these pieces first came out. So again, this is the 2014 release from Department 56 for Witch Hollow, Toads and Frogs Witchcraft Haunt, and another Prince Croaks as the coordinating accessory. Okay, guys, well, hopefully you found that review video helpful. The 2014 release of Witch Hollow is a really good one. They did a really good job. The coordinating accessory, another Prince Croaks, is just, I think, honestly, they just really knocked it out of the park. That is a very well done piece, which I think is why it's so popular and hard to find. If you look at the detail on that piece, and I love resin as a coordinating piece. When they're made of resin, I get excited over that. And I know a lot of people prefer the porcelain or ceramic, but for the accessories, I certainly prefer resin. I think they hold more detail. The paint job to me is a little bit better. It's more of a matte finish than it is a glossy finish. And for Halloween, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So just a home run when it comes to the coordinating accessory. And the Witch Hollow piece itself is no exception to that either. I think it's really well done. It's a great piece to have in your collection. And so, yeah, very happy that it's in my collection. It's going to be prominently displayed in the upcoming Witch Hollow display, which, by the way, is going well. I've had a lot of comments, a lot of feedback. I know the thing is a little bit wobbly, and I'll talk about all of that and how we're going to try to secure it, or how maybe we're going to have a version 2 at some point. But it's all painted black, it's dried, it's ready to now detail, which we'll probably do over this weekend and create another, I think that'll be the third video, part 3 of the Witch Hollow build. The broom specifically will be coming hopefully this weekend. I'll have some time to do that and get the broom maybe completed, maybe not, but it'll be pretty close to being completed when we finish part 3. And then we're moving on to the other parts and pieces of that entire display. It's going to take us a minute to get through that one. But hey, with that, if you've liked this video for the review series, make sure you click the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. It certainly helps the channel to grow. It helps me in my pursuit of doing these videos on YouTube. And it certainly motivates me to keep going and creating videos for you guys. If you have questions or comments, please leave those below. Again, I try to get to every single one. I appreciate them. They make me think, they challenge me, and there's some really good ideas that come from those. So please keep sending those in. I absolutely love to read them. So, hey, until we talk again next time, take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you again real soon.